Hello everyone. This is the model of the Redan that John Rohde, one of my subscribers, very kindly sent to me. Just to recap, this is a really old model manufactured by Bellona battlefields. I used to own this particular piece back in the 1960s when I was a schoolboy. I've mentioned it a few times in various videos. In this particular book here, An Introduction to Battle Gaming by Terry Wise, there's a photograph of it. You can see, same model exactly. John Rohde got in touch with me and asked me if I was still interested in obtaining one, and very eagerly accepted his very kind offer. Yeah, it's a vacuum-formed model. I've repainted it from how John had painted it with a kind of very rudimentary sort of brown wash. So I've just given it a little bit of my own touch, really. There are a couple of these little separate pieces that he hadn't actually employed. They're just basically pieces of wreckage, gun barrels and so on that you can use. You can take them off if you're not interested in using them, so there's no harm in painting them up. And yeah, I'm really quite pleased with the way that's turned out. Just turn it around and give you a view from all sides. It's not actually an exact reproduction of what the Redan would have looked like. The Redan was one of the redoubts that surrounded Sevastopol during the siege during the Crimean War. I can give you a rough... I've got this book here, The Crimean War by Dennis Judd, and there's a map in there that you might be able to see. So the larger map is a map of the sort of western side of the whole of the Crimea, with the Alma River here where a battle took place. And after the Battle of the Alma, the Allied forces moved south on Sevastopol, but then Sevastopol is here. They bypassed it rather than seizing the town immediately, and went round to the southern side of the town to lay siege to it, and that decision's been argued over ever since, really, because they didn't have enough forces to surround the city entirely, so it was only sort of half a siege anyway. If they had, there's a chance that they could have just entered Sevastopol, which was the aim of the war, immediately after the Battle of the Alma, because the Russians were in such confusion. But in the end, they were obliged to kind of overwinter, and the British forces in particular suffered really badly during the winter because they were very poorly supplied. The port of Balaclava is down here. The French, I think, use this port here, Camiche, but the British were on the sort of side that was likely to be attacked by the Russians the whole time, and so they were kind of beleaguered the whole time during the siege, as well as being very poorly equipped and supplied from Balaclava. So it was a disastrous decision, really, not to take the city at the beginning. But anyway, inset is this map of the siege lines of Sevastopol, and as I say, the siege lines didn't surround the entire city, just the southern half. And you might be able to make out the Redan just there. And beside it is another redoubt called the Malakoff. And the British never actually succeeded in taking the Redan. What happened was that the French forces finally captured the Malakoff, and the Russians had built a kind of pontoon bridge over the river. So once the Malakoff fell, they accepted that the city was going to fall, and they withdrew over the pontoon bridge to the north side of the river, and that was when the British managed to take the Redan. But this particular model, as I say, isn't an exact replica of what the Redan would have looked like, but it is a sort of fair representation. So it can be used for any sort of black powder era siege game, really. And I'm really pleased with it. It's a real blast from the past. It brought back memories of playing games with my FX models way back in the 1960s. So thank you very much again to John for very kindly sending me this, and just give you a little bit more of a close-up of some of the detail on it. Really nice piece, I think. They had so many different kits and things that they're quite hard to come by nowadays. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to show you. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.